So the challenge which we are all facing, or I would say the reality is, how do we manage our manufacturing where we are able to take care of this flexibility, but also being efficient, because the backbone of manufacturing is how efficient you are and how do you optimize your cost. As to what are the different changes you are seeing in the past 5 years in the industry behavior and consumers.
I think what COVID did really, as far as the kitchen is concerned, is it changed the way kitchen is being looked at. It became a bonding space. Of course, one could say that in the urban areas, the impact was different. In the rural areas, the impact is different. The second aspect which plays a role in the changing needs of kitchens is the cooking habits, which are very different in various parts of the country. But not only that, the Indian kitchen itself has a very different cooking habit or a cooking way of looking at the kitchen vis-a-vis, let's say, a Western kitchen. There is more wet part of the kitchen. The way the kitchens are being cleaned, the way we used damp cloths. Today, we use more of tissues and paper towels, which are dry, and then they get discarded. So the materials that are expected to be used, again, are different, and therefore the challenges that come up with the wet kitchen gradually change. Added to that, of course, is the fact that kitchens itself, the expectation of the customer, if you go back to look at what kitchens were like, when the builders handed over flats, they used to be just plain flat stones, a slab. And then below that, the customer had to make their own arrangements. Normally there could be open shelves, it could be just a door arrangement, shutter arrangement put over there. Modular kitchens have changed that completely. So with this has also come then the need to customize. And I was listening to Mr. Burman speaking about, customization has to be seen by the customer end. At the back end, we need to do maximum standardization.
Consumer expectation is totally changed after COVID. Now consumer is more digitally connected. Every home have more chefs. Earlier, there were only a lady who was cooking. But after lockdown, or you can say after this COVID, even male members also participated in cooking. So people are more engaged at home. So they want a better kitchen. People are diverting from savings to, they are investing on their homes. So they are changing their kitchens, they are changing their entire home furniture.
How is this translating with respect to the top 2-3 challenges you are facing in manufacturing?
The major challenge in this industry is availability of the skill. We are getting growth in our business, but it is very difficult for us to cope up with the market. We need to work on our systems, processes, adopt technology. Technology doesn't mean that we all should have, softwares, because software is a big capital investment for every company. And I think many of the kitchen companies, they don't have that kind of budget to invest in technology. But yes, even if we start with the small steps, even if we start with, say, using Google Sheets or these kind of things, we can organize our processes. So we all should work on organize our processes to fulfill the flexible demand.
That, with the customization that is expected and the kind of mass customization approach which we are looking at, tracking and tracing of components across the flexible manufacturing system becomes very critical. Because at the end of the day, you can manufacture things right and deliver it to the wrong customer. I think a track and trace system is where digital is really required. So apart from manufacturing technology, it is also the information technology, the right amount of appropriate automation to be done in that, to make sure that we get that right product to the right customer and intact.
Jagdish ji, I also wanted to hear from you, what kind of challenges are you facing and how are you trying to address them?
First, we need to cater to the demand that is there in India. I mean, there's massive demand, and we should be able to cater to it with a good cost as well. There are a lot of challenges when you talk about scale and flexibility. For an example, we backed a big project here in Delhi, and we are majorly into office fit-outs. Office fit-outs have different batch sizes where there is a bit of customizations, about 30 to 40% in the entire production order. But then that customization is anyways taken care. But you need to be ready with some flexibility. For example, a bigger table size on a CNC machine could help you to create a product which otherwise you would not be able to do it, right? So to do that, you need to have data of your shop floor, live data, which I feel it's still very difficult for us to have live data on our production floor. When you talk about production floor, which ranges from, say, a lakh square feet to 10 lakh square feet. So you need to have data in place where, I think before this session, Mr. Vikas had rightly said that, you need to have CNC machines where your data flows. You know where your particular product is, your semi-finished good is, how much your inventory is, and how much is your downtime, for example. So all of this is very important when you talk about scale. All of this requires immense integration of technologies, which right now we are trying to develop that. There are, consultants here who are trying to get it in India, but that is required, and to a certain extent we are doing it. And that is helping us to, somewhere pull out data from machines. For example, HOMAG, I'll take an example. They came up with IoT, and but I don't know how, to what level is it being implemented in the whole of India, but IoT is very, very important. IoT is needed right now for manufacturing, for mass scale manufacturing. So I think that is one challenge. And third is, I would say, it is the productivity of people. It all comes down to IoT. Your productivity, it can be measured once you have data in place, where you have rigorous data and you're doing that analysis. Pulling out data is very expensive. You ask any other supplier, you tell them that I need this data, they'll charge you this much money. This is chargeable. We do have Indian geeks who get into German machines, but then there is always a limitation. You cannot go further than that. So we built a software where we try to map our production floor, so right where the product is. If there's a red flag, how do we solve that? So all of that, we try to build it, but then it all comes down, it gets stuck. It is not a complete thing. You want to complete it, you have to have an integration of each machine. You need data which is live. And third thing, having robotics. So we are integrating robotics, and I think that is the next thing that we should be exploring, a completely automated setup in India. All of us have been a part of, skilling our manpower, which is required, where when there is a challenging product that needs to be made, we are all ready with that product.
Thank you, Jagdish ji. And somewhere I put my foot into my mouth by asking some of these things. So coming over to you, Klaus. I think I'm personally interested, as well as I'm sure many in the audience would be curious to know, if you have to give the top 2-3 differences in the way we do manufacturing in India and in developed countries like Germany and others. Can you share some thoughts on that?
Good afternoon to all of you. The difference is a lot of work is done manually. The result finally is quite good, surprisingly good, but is from the technology far away from the international standard. This is the big difference.
How much do you think an automation or a mechanization or digitization is going to help to solve this puzzle of getting both flexibility as well as efficiency in the manufacturing?
It's not the automation, or the problem is to find the people, the qualified people to run this factory, run these machines. You must always consider each machine, which, for example, we bought now, is a minimum value of 250, 280, 300,000 plus X euros. It means, shall I give to an unexperienced, uneducated worker a Ferrari? No, I will not do it. So for me, one of the big challenges is to find more or less educated people, workers, and before operating these machines, give them a training. With the help of HOMAG, for example, mainly, yes, and only then we start to produce, not before. Because the damages and the harm, what happens if they are not educated, to the machine, to our reputation as a reliable partner in kitchen, it's too expensive, very simple.
The point I'm making here is that with the customization, it is critical that the information from the point of sale has to move to the factory accurately. And then it has to get made right, and of course, it has to go out right. And that is something that we really need to do critically. To do it manually, we are inviting error.
For me, the quality is the absolute maximum. We will produce kitchen like we produce in Germany. If I give you this kitchen from Germany or this kitchen produced in India, you shall not see and you will not see a difference. This is the main goal. The excuse, we are in India, or we are in China, or we are in Russia, no, not acceptable. This is the main goal and the biggest challenge.
Here I'd like to add one thing. Most of the companies, they don't have clear model of business. Most of the kitchens are selling through, you can say, multi-brand outlets, where we producer don't have any control. They give us sizes, they give us design, they give us color, and we supply them the product. So you can say the last mile delivery, maybe it is not perfect because everyone is using some different softwares, everyone is giving their own design, their own color, their own sizes, everything is customized. So in a way, we are losing on efficiency, but that is the need of the hour. We don't have any choice that, we say no to those orders. We have to say yes, because the market is evolving. So still in India, I can say 80% of the market is with the multi-brand outlets. And most of them are their own system, their own processes. There is nothing standard. So it is very difficult for a component supplier like us. Even we are also trying to go on this franchisee kind of mode. But again, the same problem which Rahul have to address is skill. How to get those skills, designers, salespeople, who can handle those kind of showrooms.
Thank you, Swastikji. So I think for paucity of time, before we wind up, I'll request, starting from Klaus, if you want to give a couple of messages to the audience on how to manage in manufacturing both flexibility and efficiency, what would that be?
One point, of course, is the machines, the flexible machines. This is a key point. And what I already mentioned, the best machine doesn't help if you don't have educated workers. So both is the key points. Philosophy you must have, how to produce efficiently. The machines you must have, so the best what you can get. And of course the educated workers. These are the three key points.
Thank you, Klaus. And Jagdishji, if you would like to add something.
We've done the entire interiors for the new Parliament building, which required, mass scale manufacturing of panel processed products, boards, paneling. But it also required, if you see Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, there are benches, solid wood benches. It required someone who can make solid wood product as well as panel processed product. We do require super scale, mega factories that we see elsewhere. There is standardization, there is technology integration, there is automation.
First, you should analyze your business model, that what you want to do. Because it is challenge with everyone. Everyone is working on mixed strategy, that, whatever comes, you do. So you need to decide on that. Then we need to decide on SOPs and processes of the entire system. Whatever we want to do in our factory. Keep your factory clutter free. Because flexible production is a challenge. Because you can get even one panel order in, say, white color, another panel order in red color. You can have different base material combination. You can have plywood, you can have particle board, you can have MDF. A lot of different choices. And if somebody wants it on, say, HDHMR MDF, you have to give it on HDHMR MDF. You cannot say no. So your system should be adaptable because science is same. Whether you have to do it on plywood or particle board or MDF doesn't matter. And you have to definitely upskill and reskill your team to do all these things.
So I have 3 points to make in terms of what I believe we need to do in order to prepare ourselves to move ahead with it. So number one is that customer profiles, customer needs and habits are changing. And therefore we need to remain agile and flexible to be ready and relevant to the changes that are expected from the supply chain. The second point I want to make, and taking from what Mr. Klaus said, we need to de-skill our processes and make them less and less dependent on manual skills. And the last one is we need to adapt more and more of parametric designs. So we have the detailing of the standard panel available and ready in our library, but we can play around with the dimensions, so we can customize, and using parametric design, we can give the customer a customized experience without having to do non-standard and customized work on our shop floor.
So thank you. So thank you everyone on the panel, and thanks for a very interesting discussion.